To tell you the Kadara story, I would have to look back at the pivotal moment that, I guess in hindsight, I believe have contributed to me becoming Lami Phillips. The truth is that as a young girl, I didn't see anything special about me. It's not because I was raised in a bad household, far from that. I guess I just felt quite ordinary. I like, okay, yeah, I'm here and there's nothing special about me. And so I went on through elementary school that way, went on through primary school that way until my fourth grade teacher, primary 4, asked me to compete in a singing competition, as it were. And the truth is that I didn't get it then, how important what she was doing was. Different people have written their names down to audition to be the lead in whatever the production was. In this moment, I can't remember. But again, I thought I was ordinary, so I didn't try. And I guess she had heard me humming or singing, and then she said, "Lami, come." And so I sang, and I left. And some weeks later, during assembly, they announced that I was the one who got the part. And I honestly was shocked. It wasn't one of those, false shock like moments. It was sincere shock, because I just thought, really, oh wow, so I can sing, or is she just being kind? And this, I guess, way of thinking continued till I was at Rodin in Brighton. And of course, again, I would be singing around school or humming or in the shower or whatever. And my theatre teacher asked me to lead this competition that the school was doing. I remember the song was "I Get By With Little Help From My Friends." It was a Bon Jovi version. I never heard it before, but I had fun becoming that persona, it was as though when I got on stage, I was someone different. Realizing that when I got on stage, something happened. It was as though every single time I found a microphone, I found myself. And that sounds so corny, but it's the truth. But again, having grown up seeing myself as ordinary, it took a lot for me to come out of this shell, to come out of this belief system or mindset that I was ordinary. Fast forward to a couple of years, a friend of mine kept nudging me to join a youth group at North Acton. And honestly speaking, I really did think, why is this girl nagging me? What is the problem? So one day I went there just to shut her up. And I believe that day changed the trajectory of my life entirely. It was the day I met my husband. Now, the thing is that the day I met my husband, I knew he was my husband. And that's a story for a completely different day. But what my husband has done and continues to do is validate everything special about me that even I sometimes do not see. That day, I met someone who would kind of pull the cloak of snobbishness, I guess, that I sometimes put on to hide whatever insecurities that I'm grappling with. My husband has pulled that cloak back and basically at every turn told me that I am a star and I am special. When my theatre teacher told me at Rodin that you're going to be a star someday, she said it with this air of sincerity. It was almost as though she was expressing a fact. But because I had not necessarily owned my desire to be that, I couldn't really understand the power behind the words that she spoke. And so there I was in Rodin, being fueled and being nurtured, in every shape in terms of my vocal capacity, but simultaneously within myself saying, it's not going to happen. So when I met my husband, and he seemed to corroborate what they said, I thought, hold on, you know what? Maybe these three stories are linked. Maybe my primary school teacher is right. Maybe my theater school teacher is right. Maybe he's right. Maybe there is something special about me. When we were growing up, my sisters, who are twins, God bless them, used to go around and compete in these singing competitions nationwide in Nigeria. So I said to myself, yeah, my sisters are the stars, they can sing. But at some point, I had to pause and start to take stock of the pivotal moments, like I said. My teacher in primary school saying, there's something special about you. My theater teacher at Rodin saying, you're going to be a star. And now, this man, who I believe is my husband, is validating that. Maybe I should pay attention. Eventually, my husband got Karen Gibson, who happens to be, I guess, the founder or coordinator of the Kingdom Choir that sang at Harry and Meghan's wedding. Yes, the dark lady with white hair. Karen Gibson was someone that, honestly, at the time, I was so scared of. Why? Because she was really strict. Karen never used to mess around. You had to be on time. She was really strict. And that's because she knew what she was talking about. It was as though, for me, she is like an authority when it comes to vocal strength, vocal ability, and just your interpretation of your voice. So I really was desperate to make sure that she didn't call me out and say, you can't sing. I would rather she just tolerated me. I remember. And so there was this day when there was a group of us singing, and she had given us, there was this part we were struggling with. There's this song, I can't remember who wrote the song or who performed the song. But the song was complex in the way that it was, in the way that the parts were split. And I remember she was walking around, and the part was, something we owe, something we owe, something we owe you. All of the praise, all of the praise, all of the praise. And she was walking around, and I was scared that as she walked past me, she would notice maybe that I wasn't good enough. So I kept singing and like picked a point on the wall. And I'm like, Lami, just focus on that point and don't let her catch you. Don't let her say you can't sing or you're not worthy to be in this space. And she stops. And she says to me, dead in the eyes, you have a strong and powerful voice. And she just keeps walking. I'm so sure she has no recollection of this day. But that day changed my life. Because in some weird way, it validated what I hoped to be. This was someone who had nothing to gain from saying what she said. It wasn't a teacher that maybe could have been building my self-confidence. It wasn't a friend or a colleague or a relative saying something positive about me. It was someone I knew to be strict and very no nonsense and full of experience and capacity, telling me, you have a strong and powerful voice. And I ran with it. It cracks me up when people say to my husband, oh, you let your wife sing. Or say to me, you're lucky your husband lets you sing. Because what that says to me is that there are men out there who, instead of giving their significant others the strength to fly, instead of supporting God's purpose for someone they claim to love, they need to be cowardly enough to shrink the greatness of who they're with or who they claim to love. They need to shrink that person for them to feel like they're men. Thankfully, I'm not married to someone like that. I've been so blessed to have him in my life in a way that when I forget who I am, he reminds me. And for any woman who's listening, I pray that you find someone who sees God in you, sees greatness in you, aligns with God's purpose for your life, and encourages you to become exactly who God purposed for you to be. And I pray that you gain the capacity and the grace to love that person, to appreciate that person, to honor that person. I know that where we are in the world right now, marriage is something people frown upon and say, yeah. But I've been blessed to have the most amazing person do life with me and see beyond the things that I'm not proud of and say, I love you and we're going to do this thing together. So yeah, that's that.